Some people like hearts and flowers on Valentine's Day. Me, I like a high body count. Slice and dice and run for your life. I love to see it. I just got out of Hard Eyes. Let's talk about it. Directed by Josh Rubin, stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, Devon Sawa, Jordana Brewster, Michaela Watkins. First and foremost, and this has nothing to do with anything, but Devon Sawa has never not been fine. I'm pretty sure that's the first man that ever made me swoon, however old I was when Casper came out. Anyways, so for the past 2 years, the Heart Eyes Killer has been traveling from city to city, attacking couples on Valentine's Day. He's been in Philadelphia, he's been in Boston, and now it's Seattle's turn, year 3. Now, the thing about the Heart Eyes Killer is he only attacks couples. Allie works in advertising. She ends up meeting this dude named Jay. It's kind of happenstance. They end up on a work date. One thing leads to another, and they're mistaken for a couple, and now they're running for their lives. What makes this movie fun and a little unique is we're blending 2 genres. Now, the blending of genres is not unique in and of itself, but we're blending the slasher horror, slasher being that subgenre of horror, and the rom-com. This is a rom-com, ladies and gentlemen. A very unusual pairing, and you know what? Hell yeah. That was so much fun. Nostalgic even. Like, they don't make slasher movies like that no more. I mean, we get Scream every couple of years, but that was 90s fun. The casting here is also very interesting. So you have Olivia Holt. Most people know her from the Disney Channel or whatever. But she was in a movie a couple of years ago called Totally Killer. Mason Gooding was in the last 2 Scream movies. He's also going to be in Scream 7. Jordana Brewster was in the 1998 film The Faculty. Devon Sawa, obviously we know him from Final Destination. So very interesting mix here coming into this movie. But anyways, going back to the blending of 2 genres, that's not always an easy thing to do because you have to kind of honor elements of both. But the thing about slasher movies and rom-coms is they're typically very predictable. And because you're dealing with 2 very predictable genres, you can kind of do whatever you want because you already know how this is going to end, right? So we have to balance all the scares and all the blood and guts with a romance in the middle that's blossoming and blooming as the film goes on, because they kind of start off meeting and it's cute, and then they're a little bit at odds, and then they're, on this crazy adventure together in which they're getting to know one another, and it just kind of comes into place from there. It just works. It's not an easy task to do, and these are 2 very different genres. This isn't like, Star Wars, where we're blending the sci-fi and the Western, where really you're just taking a sci-fi and kind of putting it in a Western kind of setting. This is where you're taking 2 very distinct elements of 2 very different genres, and you're trying to make them work in the same place. And he did it. He did it very well. It was so balanced. Me personally, I don't think enough people died in this movie. This could have gone on for another 30 minutes and I would have been fine. But the carnage that did carnage was carnaging, and I'm not mad about it. It's not Eli Roth, swirling people's guts with a table saw, but I don't think I've ever seen a crossbow used like this in a movie before. It's just always a good time for me when I can yell at the screen, "Run, ho, get up, stop falling. Ooh, I hope he catches you." The writing is so ridiculous, the dialogue, but in a good way. It knows it's ridiculous. It knows it's just off the wall. And it knows it's campy. Movies that don't take themselves too seriously but still work. I think Megan. Megan was ridiculous and knew it was ridiculous, but it worked. Is it a little corny at times? Yes, but just go with it. I love a good genre movie. But yeah, that was fun. That was a ride.